Hey everybody, Robert here. Up here in my wizard tower, hanging out, just doing my thing. I was thinking about a concept kind of all day today, and I want to make a little video about it, or at least a little video about it. I hope it's kind of short, because I don't really prepare this stuff. I just kind of think about it, makes sense, and I want to share it with you guys. Uh, and the concept is, or the theme, whatever you want to think about the video this is your imagination and why it's important. Your imagination can affect your body as if something real is going on. And we've all done this. We've all been half asleep. And even though you might be not trying to think of something exciting, you think of falling or get that feeling or think of something fun. And it gets to a point where it actually shocks you awake. Maybe it scares you awake. Well, what happened there? Well, the core thing here is the subconscious, the unconscious mind, the one that controls your heart, everything that you do automatically about you is controlled by the unconscious mind. That mind does not know the difference between fact and fiction. That's why movies can scare you. That's why you can sit there and allow the influence to, even though you might know it's not real, you can allow yourself to go on that emotional ride if you want to, because your subconscious does not know the difference between fact and fiction. It relies on you for that. It just is. And with that comes really a responsibility to people. And the responsibility is to manage, watch, and cultivate the correct images in your mind. Because if you allow the wrong imaginations, the wrong ruminations, the wrong images or ideas to play out in your mind, if you allow that too much on something, it can actually change how you are. Because when you're imagining, you're eventually going into trance because you're focusing on something. So you're going into trance. You're imagining something probably exciting, probably getting your hands on that, pretty girl or the movie star, or finally getting whatever you want from work, whatever it is. Whatever it is you're fantasizing about, fantasizing or imagining, it can get to a point where it affects the body, to where you're fantasizing about that girl and then you get aroused, or you're thinking about how that person did you wrong and you're getting more and more angry about it. You're allowing the images to affect your body, just like you would a movie theater. Your subconscious mind is believing the movie you're playing in your head, and it's adapting to it if you keep doing it. So now, if you just have all those thoughts and you allow yourself to imagine those thoughts, because they can be fun to indulge, then it changes you on a body level, on a subconscious level. Now you are associating, or you could be associating that image with that feeling automatically now, and you don't realize it. Now you have a conflict where it wasn't a problem before being around this person, even though they might have been a little attractive. Now you've been thinking about it for a while and thinking about what it'd be like to be with them, or whatever it is the hell you're doing, and you're allowing that to get you excited. Now when you're next to the person, you might automatically get excited more than you ever have before, and you are wondering where that's coming from. And then you go, oh, I must like this person, it must be real. No, you tricked yourself into doing that. It's the same thing with, like, the stereotypical, oh, you cheated on me in my dreams last night, so now I'm mad at you. Consciously, they didn't do it, but subconsciously, it's been changed a little bit. You have to work that out sometimes. That's what that is. The subconscious does not know the difference between fact and fiction. And this goes back to ancient times and some ancient scriptures. I can't really, cite them right now because I looked at all kinds of different scriptures. I look at references to things that I try to find, and this is something. I think it was a Christian scripture that said, take hold or be worried about what you have in your heart because it could become true or something like that. Just be careful what you think. Be careful what you ruminate on. Be careful what images you allow in your mind, especially to the point where they start affecting your body, because now you're affecting the subconscious mind. You're responding to it. So I think that with that in mind, it is best to cultivate a strong prefrontal cortex, a strong sense of self, a strong sense of the observer mind, and just being present. That presentness lets you see what thoughts are going in your head. and you can catch them. Say, oh, I don't want to think that. Let's change that. And the more you do that, the more it changes. And with hypnosis, we can actually change that, in one day. 30 years can be changed in one day in hypnosis. Excuse me. And that's the power of hypnosis. That's a whole nother video. But the real, you know, teeth of this video is maintain or monitor your thoughts. Become conscious enough to catch them and change them as you can and as you should, because it's going to help you in the long run. If you make these small integral change, these small integral into whatever changes. I can't pronounce the word right now. You know what I'm talking about. Whatever word that is. As these small changes happen, your life gets better, smaller, little bit by little bit, and those little bits add quite quickly. Especially if you really build your awareness, build your concentration, and start noticing the unwanted patterns and thoughts you have in your mind, catching them and retraining yourself to do something different. That's one of the keystones of changing, or if it is the cornerstone of changing, at least in my opinion, in my modality, it's your thoughts and everything like that. But yeah, without making this too long, just I had to put that out there, people. Like, I wish people knew this. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between fact and fiction, and that's why a lie can become truth if it's repeated enough. And there's more to this. I can make probably a 30-minute video on this. I really want to go into the spiel, but monitor your thoughts, build your prefrontal cortex just by reading, focusing. Whatever part of the brain you use, blood gets sent to that part of the brain. If you're doing math, like a lot of intense math, and you're really focusing, and blood's going to the part of the brain, and then if you go to sleep or go into hypnosis right after that, it builds the fastest. And that's anything you do. Just putting it out there. That's a study secret. Anything you do, study like physical or mental, whatever it is, if you go into trance or take a nap afterwards, it builds in the subconscious mind. It builds in the brain much faster, and there's actual physical evidence for that. That's why also if you don't use it, you lose it because it gets a little atrophy in there. If you don't do math for 10 years, it might get harder to do math if you try it. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Take from this what you will. The things I wish you would take from it is build your focus power and realize what thoughts are in your head, capture them or catch them and change them. And that will make your life better overall. You guys have a good one.